Of late, former Prime Minister and everybody is now saying there is nothing like hustler. And then I kind of agree with him that either at some point somebody is a son of a hustler or a grandchild of a hustler or a great-grandchild of a hustler. We can all trace a hustle in our family. Probably, isn't it discriminatory to say only first-generation hustler can claim the hustler tag? And if I'm two generation, then I'm barred from claiming the hustler movement. And that probably look at it this way. If you're saying you are a child of a hustler, how about a hustler himself? So I will ask those questions, but I will want us to, contextualize and vernacularize it to where do we put people who are third, fourth generation
hustlers.
But karibu mheshimiwa.
Asante, interesting thing. The person I have seen with a problem with the hustler narrative is former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. But I found some contradiction in what he said, because first he was very angry about the hustler narrative. And they told us hustlers are thieves. They even sponsored some conman I see saying he's fighting jiggers somewhere. Was apparently educating people with a dynasty's dictionary of the definition of a hustler as a prostitute. I saw Atueli saying hustlers ni wajinga, ni watu ambao hawana sijui akili, hawana vision, ni watu hawana akili, ni watu wenye hawana masomo. Unfortunately, the time he said hao mahasla ni watu wenye hawana akili na hawajasoma, the president visited a workshop on, I think around Mutindo. A workshop which basically is a hustle, doing desks. And the guy who was running that workshop, if you listen to the news item, he is a graduate of, I think, he said he was a graduate with mathematics and computer science or something. A graduate. But he has his hustle. Welding desks and employing carpenters to do school desks. But Atueli thinks ni watu hawana akili. The conman, Jiga's conman, says they are prostitutes. Mama Mboka sasa amekuwa ni prostitute. Raila Odinga has a problem when Deputy President works with Dennis Otieno or Stephen Odhiambo, the guys who had an innovative bench that was converting from a bench into a picnic table or a garden table along Gong Road, around the Great Corner. And those guys are hustling, and you saw the bench they were doing, not just the Deputy President buying, but even us seeing something innovative and buying, and he supported them to promote their trade and even improve on the quality of what they are doing. You remember I saw him buy them some fabrication machine to be able to fold the chumas
the metal
better than hii ya kupiga na nyundo na kuchomelea. And if you are talking about support of the manufacturing agenda, manufacturing doesn't have to be the muhindi in industrial area. Dennis Otieno and Stephen Odhiambo on Gong Road are manufacturing benches. Those benches are the kind of things that you would be importing from China. And this is better quality and more durable than the Chinese one. But Raila Odinga had a problem with the Deputy President doing that. He had a problem with the Deputy President giving people borders. And he complained about it, but eventually I'm happy because when we went to Bomet, he came to terms.
He pronounced himself as
the son of a hustler. And he said Jaramogi was a hustler, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta was a hustler, Nyayo was a hustler. But then, let me just say this to Raila Odinga. Every generation, and it's good Daktari has spoken about first, second generation, and third or fourth generation hustlers. Every generation of hustlers identifies a leader who inspires hope among us, the hustlers. At that time. That is why the hustler nation of pre-independence Kenya identified Mzee Jomo Kenyatta as one amongst them who was a hustler, a meter reader with Nairobi City Council then, Kajo, Nairobi. That meter reader was identified by fellow hustlers as the leader that was a vision carrier and inspired hope amongst them. And they identified them as their leader. He put together other visionary leaders around him, young people, the likes of James Gishuru, Jaramogi Odinga, Tom Mboya, Mwai Kibaki, Nyayo, and they formed the new Kenyan state. And they dealt with the problems that confronted the nation that time. The current generation of hustlers have identified William Ruto as their vision carrier, as a man who inspires hope to the current generation of hustlers. Confronted by the many problems that confront the country today, they have seen and identified William Ruto as a vision carrier, as a person who inspires new hope for a new Kenya. A new Kenya in transforming our lives, not just at the political front, and that's why I was talking about the politics of ethnic balkanization. The new generation of hustlers, the current generation of hustlers, doesn't want to be sold the politics of ethnic balkanization. The new generation of hustlers want somebody who will inspire hope and tell them that every hustle they're involved in is not prostitution. They are not stupid. It is not about them being seen as thieves. That if you're a boda rider, you have hope tomorrow. That you can own a matatu, you can own an Uber taxi. You have seen boda riders in Ngong who are with the deputy president the other day. They have invested in a new matatu. They are doing what government has failed to do. Government spoke about affordable housing. Boda riders through their circle in Ngong and in Kitengela have gone into real estate and are developing houses, 2-3 bedroom houses for their membership. Therefore, if Raila Odinga is angered by the current generation of hustlers identifying William Ruto as their vision carrier and a person who inspires hope amongst them, please don't be angry with Kenyans and insult them or belittle them and their small hustles because they have not identified you as their vision carrier. Maybe what you should ask yourself is, when Stephen Odhiambo or Dennis Otieno are supported with a bench fabrication machine, what is it that you can support another hustler with? Maybe a fishing rod or a fishing net somewhere. So that we all help each other and contribute. I listened to him, and Tinga is interesting. I listened to him saying, as a deputy president, you cannot be buying bicycle, na wheelbarrow, na mkokoteni. Then I imagined, we hire wheelbarrows. There are people in the business of leasing wheelbarrows. No, I am jengo ya koroga. If you have a koroga, because you will not buy 20 wheelbarrows ya kubeba kokoto, you lease. You hire from somebody. That is somebody who has supported another Juakali artisan who has made the wheelbarrows, because they are not wheelbarrows from China. They are wheelbarrows made hapa Kamukunji, hapa Gikomba. Ile ya mguu kubwa.
Hapa nyumbani.
And you hire it for between 50 to 80 shillings for a day. The guy who is pushing that wheelbarrow, that's his hustle. And he's making it life and feeding his children, paying his house rent out of the hustle of pushing that wheelbarrow, ya kokoto. The guy who is leasing them, that's his hustle, and he's making money and feeding his family out of it. And the chain goes on and on to the manufacturer of the wheelbarrow, to the manufacturer, to the steel producer who has sold the chumas to make the wheelbarrow. Therefore, when I hear Raila Odinga saying as deputy president, you should be talking about bigger things. I mean, economic growth and development, and I'll tell you this as an accountant, is not about the big SGR, big housing projects. Economic growth and development is a sum total of small hustles, small economic activities. Today, we have an economy where we have overinvested in the big projects. But the small guy also matters. How he feeds his family matters.
It's also important.
If you tell somebody in my constituency where SGR traverses that we have built SGR from Mombasa to some bush somewhere in Naivasha, it doesn't make sense to him. But if you show him how he will irrigate his small farm with an earth dam and be able to produce cabbages that he will come and sell in Marikiti here or in Kawangware, that feeds his family. That educates his children. Let us respect each and every hustle.
Every hustle matters.
I like what the deputy president says, that every hustle matters. And I want to tell Kenyans, every hustle matters. Let those who are fighting this hustler narrative not be angered that the person pushing it is William Ruto. It's just natural that the hustler generation
I've accepted him
as their vision carrier and as a person who inspires hope in them. And there's a reason why he's the one who is inspiring hope amongst hustlers. It's not just something it's not about William Ruto by then.
It's about the moment.
It's about the moment.
All right.